VidDevo Bible. 7 minutes in the Word of God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. God created man in his own image. There's no doubt about whether man was created or whether man was evolved. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So God, being the one who has created man, God is the one who has given man an account of what he has done. In VidDevo Bible, it's not very hard to understand. We hear what God has said, and we listen to what God said, and we know what God means. It isn't complicated. It doesn't require anyone to interpret it. As a matter of fact, most of what we understand is simply because we accept who is telling us what occurred. Since it's God telling us what happened in the beginning, we know without needing any other scientific proof, any other man-made reason, any other debate, any other argument, any kind of apology for God, any kind of apologia for God, any kind of words that people play with or try to say with or try to change from the Word of God and from the Bible, of what God is saying so clearly and so plainly to us. It doesn't require anyone else except you and I to hear what God has said in Genesis 1:27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. God didn't create a male-female blend. God didn't create a female-male blend. God created, and it says, male and female created he them. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. As you see man and woman, so you see the image of God. It doesn't say you see God. It says you see the image of God. And that God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he him. Being that God created man, God knows what's best for man, being that he created man. It doesn't require anyone to suddenly come up with some new variation of man. It doesn't mean that somehow we're going to come up with a new explanation of man. It means that if we want to know where man came from, we ask the man or the person or the God who created him. According to Genesis 1:27, because God has said it, and God has told us, being the actual person himself who did it, God is declaring to us the truth. And the fact is, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Male and female created he them. Because God is telling us that, there's no question as to who created man. There's no question about if man was created. There's no doubt whatsoever, because if you read this, if you listen, if you understand that God was speaking to a people, and those people heard God speak to them, and God told them that he created them in his own image, and that in the image of God created he him, and male and female created he them, they understood that, they communicated that, they shared that with one another from generation to generation, so they recorded it for us to have an understanding and a comprehension of who created us. God created us in his own image. In the image of God created he him, and male and female created he them. Because of that, we don't debate, we don't relate, we don't want to get into all these other things that man does when man wants to create for himself a controversy. We would rather accept the fact that the person who created us was the creator. It was God in Genesis 1:27 that created man in his own image. And in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. If I tell a little child when they ask me, where do I come from? I don't have to say, well, the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, and the birds and the song in the sky, and you want to know why? And come up with some kind of silly explanation. I can tell, frankly, a little child very easily. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Male and female God created he them. And so a child would accept that. Oh, okay. Now, it doesn't matter that a gestation period of God creating man in his own image happens inside of a woman. That's why the whole idea of procreation is so foolishly stupid, when clearly God says God created man. It doesn't say God created man and left him to his own ways and said, hey, I'm done with you. No, God is there at the moment of procreation for the gestation of that sperm and that egg to become a living soul. God breathes life into it because God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Male and female created he them. It's not a done fact. It's an ongoing reality. God created man in his own image. So whatever is inside of a woman, male or female, God created that. Not man, not woman. Man and woman participated in the parts that they contributed, but God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. That's the way it is in the Word of God. That's the VidDevo Bible, and you've been 7 minutes in the Word of God.